Welcome to Mock Draft Monday. This is a chance where you get to mock my mock. That's right. I'm not the one mocking people's mock. You're going to go ahead in the comment section and let me know how I did a terrible job. But what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe, especially if you love the draft, because no one does it better than the beard himself. And leave that thumbs up if you appreciate, if you enjoy, if you like, if you love the content. Just go ahead, do that. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. That's where we have our nice, beautiful, sensual football discourse, baby. Let's go ahead, get into this. Now, I did things a bit different for this first overall pick. Not too much different. I'm not going to go off like the panhandle and be like, all right, we're going to go ahead and get let's get us some Brock Purdy here at number 1. I didn't do that. Last week, I believe I did Evan Neal here. And we just covered Dan Brugler's first round mock, where he had Ike Ekemekwana be the first pick in his mock. So we were exploring, like, okay, tackle, there's a real chance. I think right now, current betting odds for the first overall pick, 3 and 4 are Evan Neal and then Ekemekwana. However, I'm going to go back to the odds-on favorite for a specific reason. I'm going Aiden Hutchinson. I get it. Oh, Aiden Hutchinson can't protect Trevor Lawrence. Well, yeah, and Trevor Lawrence can't rush the passer. What are we even talking about here? You acting like there's no free agency. Like this is the end-all, be-all. Whatever they don't do here, they could go and do in free agency. It's actually vice versa. Go handle your needs in free agency and then just draft talent. And currently number 1 on my board is Aiden Hutchinson. But more importantly, I think Aiden Hutchinson, he is a known locker room leader, vocal leader of that Wolverine squad. You want to cultivate a culture there, especially after the whole Urban Meyers debacle. I think having locker room guys, more important than ever. Aiden Hutchinson, dude, he's the pick here. Now, if you're the Lions, guess what? You're just taking whoever the Jags don't. You're probably taking KT. You're taking Aiden Hutchinson. One of those two. That's likely the pick here for Detroit. So I'm going KT, dude. KT's like, it's 1A, 1B. When it comes to Aiden Hutchinson and Kayvon Thibodeau, with Evan Neal basically pulling a home improvement, like, oh, hey there, Tim. He's peeking right over the fence. He's on those guys' heels. So with Houston, I'm not going to do things too different because guess what? You just want to, if you're Houston, you're a team devoid of talent. Just take the best players available, really. And Evan Neal would fall into that. Larry Matunzel, he was being discussed as a trade target during the trade deadline. He might not be with the squad after this offseason regardless. Just get in a guy to protect your quarterback of the future, whether it's Davis Mills or someone you draft in 2023, is kind of ideal. Evan Neal falls into that category. But before we go on to the video, I have a sponsor. I want to thank TPPN for sponsoring this video. So go ahead and use their DraftKings link because we're in the thick of things when it comes to the NFL playoffs, baby. They are sponsored by DraftKings. And let's kick things off with a huge offer counting down to the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 56. Am I allowed to say that? I think I might get demonetized. I think I'm supposed to call it the big game. I guess I'll find out. But right now they got new customers can get 56-1 odds on any playoff team to win their game. Bets just $5 and win $258 in free bets if your team is victorious. If Sportsbook isn't available in your state yet, you still have something to play for during the playoffs each and every weekend. Everyone can play for huge cash prizes, baby, with DraftKings Daily Fantasy Football Contest. DraftKings is giving all new customers, that's you, a free shot at millions of dollars in prizes. That's right, with your first deposit. Download the DraftKings Sports app now. Use promo code TPPN. Get 56-1 odds on any NFL bet or NFL team. Bet just $5. Win $200 80 in free bets if your team wins. That's the promo code. It be TPPN. You're going to see a nice little pretty logo right below me. You must be 21 and older. Duh. To do that, new customers only. Minimum $5 deposit and $1 wager is required. One per customer. Restrictions may apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. So the Jets. I did something different, right? Yo, I got a commentator voice. Yo, I got an ad voice. Straight up, I could be a game show host. Come on down to The Price is Right. Watch out, Drew Carey. Or Wayne Brady. Who does it now? I don't know. One of those Whose Lines Anyway, guys. Anyway, I loved Whose Lines Anyway as a kid. Anyway, I'm doing this different. I know not all Jets fans hate the idea of Derek Stingley with this pick, but the most vocal majority is in my comment section. So I said I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it anymore. That's right. Y'all ruined it. I'll probably do it eventually someday. Maybe. We'll see. But I still think addressing the secondary, getting the best player available is key. You could go Charles Cross here. While like Charles Cross, probably a top 10 guy on my board. Excellent scheme fit for the offensive line. I don't think offensive line's a huge need because for the most part, bits and pieces played well. If anything, I think Greg Van Roten was kind of the weakest spot on that offensive line. You can make a case even for pass rusher like, maybe George Karlaftis or David Ajabo here, but I mean, you get a healthy Carl Lawson back. You have John Franklin Myers, a guy that can kick to the interior at times. Bryce Huff has shown a bit as a kind of like a situational pass rusher. So yeah, it might be nice to go there. How about we just go with best player available? And it's a position of need. Marcus May, he's probably not back with the squad after this year. So I went with Kyle Hamilton. All right, on to the New York Giants. Your offensive line sucks. I'm going to solve that. I'm going with the Sticky Icky. He has been the number 2 offensive tackle for me for a while now. It's just now everyone else is talking about it. I love this cat. He proved to be, like, his improvement as a pass protector is just huge. But you know this guy is killer in the run game. Literally, he's going out looking for guys to bury, to rest in peace. That's the type of nastiness, the type of mentality you're getting with the Sticky Icky Ikem Ikwanu. So bam, they get some offensive line help, but we're not done with them just yet. But we'll pause to talk about the Carolina Panthers. Listen, I'm gonna be frank. I get the idea, like, we should trade down. I'm not doing trade downs, but even if I was, I don't think the Panthers are really in a position to trade down. You'd be like, what do you mean they're not in a position? This is a prime spot. Really? Like, who's trading up for this spot? Like, is the quarterback class that good to where you're like, let's trade up for this. Let's throw away other picks to move up and try to, get the quarterback we want. You can maybe make a case for that. But I really don't think so. Like, that's a problem. You got to find a suitor in a trade scenario. And if anything, a lot of teams would probably think the Panthers, they're in the market for a quarterback. So they'd have to move ahead of the Panthers. So they'd be probably talking to the Jets or the Giants. I don't know. In theory, maybe it pans out differently. But I think it'd be wise for them to get a quarterback in this spot. Whoever they fall in love with, probably one of the guys that are coming out of the Senior Bowl. Whoever they fall in love with, pull the trigger there. You might be like, well, we got to build the foundation before we have the building of a franchise quarterback. So we should build around him first. Yes, but then you get in the Broncos, you get in the Broncos and the Washington football team's predicament where they're picking like 9 and 11. Like, typically you're not going to be vying for the top quarterback on the board at those positions. You've now built a team that is mediocre, that's really maybe just a quarterback away, but yet you're not in position to get that quarterback. Instead, you're going to have to expend extra draft capital or maybe some stars on your roster to move up to get that quarterback. So I think you can make a case of just take the quarterback here, especially if you think he is better than what you have on your roster currently. just go ahead and pull the trigger. So for me, I'm going to go with my top quarterback being Sam Howell. Hey, I get it, Panthers fans. We should trade down. You should. You just got to find a suitor. That's the problem. You got to find a suitor. Who wants to trade up? Who? New York Giants. Listen, I'm always doing George Karlaftis with this pick. Let's do a little change here. And we talked about the offensive line, that it poo-poo. It's bad. It's worse than the Dolphins. I'm a Dolphins fan, by the way. Fins up, baby. Fins up. But it's worse than the Dolphins. So let's just keep adding talent to that offensive line and give Daniel Jones, if that is who you're going to move forward with, at least for now, give him one last hoorah. Give him at least an offensive line to operate behind. So I'm going to go with Tyler Linderbaum. Double dipping on offensive line. You're sure to hit with at least one of these guys. Best case scenario, both of these guys. Now you got, 3 top 10 talents, top 7 technically, on your offensive line. Bam, that's how you add talent right there. The Atlanta Falcons. Receiver, it's a real sexy option here, especially with Calvin Ridley on his way out. But instead, I went with, I think it's more pressing need right now, especially if maybe you're going for agency, maybe you could bring in a few receivers, a few cheap options, veteran options. I went with pass rush because they have the worst in the NFL. George Karlaftis, he ought to help that. Maybe not solve. You can't solve it all by yourself, but I think he would definitely help that. The guy's big. He's explosive. I think he would really fit into this defense. Denver Broncos, man. I really like the idea of Sam Howell coming to town. That's not an option here. So let's take the next quarterback off the board. A guy that because if you look at this, a lot of this class is I don't think you really got immediate starters here outside of Sam Howell and the guy I'm going to pick, Kenny Pickett. Listen, I get that, for me, I don't think Kenny Pickett's upside is that of an elite quarterbacks, but I think this guy's going to be in the top 10, top 12 conversation constantly, especially if you have parts around him. I think he's got a Derek Carr-like ceiling. The only problem is Las Vegas, they've done a terrible job building around Derek Carr. It's literally Derek Carr against the world. That's not really the case with Denver. You got a really good defense there in Denver. You got the makings of a good offense that's really just a quarterback away. Kenny Pickett, he's that quarterback. I know it's crazy. 2 quarterbacks going into the top 10, but the quarterback position, it is one that is overvalued. So we're at least going to see one, I bet. So where are we at? We're back with the New York Jets, and you know what? Charles Cross is here. He's a good scheme fit for LaFleur and that wide zone blocking scheme he's got going on. So we're going with him. Washington football team. I kind of talked about this earlier in my Daniel Jeremiah mock the mock video, that maybe Ron Rivera, if he drafts a guy like Malik Willis here, or maybe Desmond Ridder, Matt Corral, these guys that I don't think they're ready to start right away. Maybe Ron Rivera could sell Washington on, hey, stick with me another year because I have my guy waiting in the wings. You look at Vic Fangio, and it was just his inability to really develop any semblance of a franchise quarterback cost him his job. And I think the same could be true about Ron Rivera, but maybe if he brings a guy in that won't be able to start right away, but at least it's we got our guy of the future here. Maybe that's enough to be even if you have another mediocre year, to hold on to your job. I was thinking maybe he doesn't have that luxury because coaches just have a short leash nowadays. So do franchise quarterbacks. You could have one bad year, Josh Rosen, and get moved on from. But I don't know. I think it could really go either way. It really depends. But I think for the sake of this, maybe Ron Rivera's no, I need a guy that can be an immediate difference maker for my team, my squad, whether we're grabbing maybe a veteran quarterback from a trade, free agency, or maybe we move further along with Tyler Heineke, see how that goes. Taylor Heineke. I always mess that up. I don't know why. But instead, I'm going to go with the best player available here. The secondary needs help. Mainly, it'd be nice to get some safety help, just like a true center fielder for that defense. Not one I'm willing to take here at 11, but Derek Stingley is just too good to pass up in terms of value. Speaking of just like help in the secondary, Minnesota Vikings, they have probably the worst cornerback room in all the NFL. They have Cameron Dantzler, and I think that's about it. So we're going to go ahead and grab the next corner on the board. It's not Andrew Booth for me. It is Ahmad Sauce Gardner, dude. I'm lost in the sauce. Cleveland Browns, the board falls this way that I just keep liking this pick when it comes around. So I'm going with Garrett Wilson. Just grabbing more weapons for Baker. You already got him on his 5th-year option, so be like, hey man, we gave you everything you had. We even gave you a healthy season to get healthy. So show us you're our franchise quarterback. If not, bring you get to draft a quarterback or bring someone else in and they come into a great situation. And Jarvis Landry sounds like he's probably on his way out of Cleveland anyway, so grabbing another receiver probably would be clutch. Baltimore Ravens, I like the idea of them going linebacker, especially a linebacker that may have like a kind of like a hybrid or a versatile role there. So you'll see what I mean when I make the pick. I went with Devin Lloyd, man. I think he's kind of like what they have in Tyus Bowser, just a bit more ability in coverage in terms of the length, a bit more athletic, probably not as explosive, but a guy that can be a very effective blitzer, a guy that can rush off the edge, like. He's been so good in that regard, and he's actually like he was a real problem in coverage for a lot of guys. Biggest thing though, the Ravens, they were probably like in like the bottom 5 in terms of how this team tackled. Granted, I know that they were beat up. A lot of the guys on the field weren't starters, but still getting guys that can tackle better would be key. And Devin Lloyd is he's kind of wonderful at that. So grabbing him here. I just really like the fit. I like the idea. There's a variety of ways I think the Ravens can go, because that's actually a really good team that really just had the raw end of the deal. You know, they were probably one of the most hurt teams in the NFL, up there with like the Saints. Like it was pretty bad. We got the Philadelphia Eagles, back-to-back picks. I was thinking David Ojabo here, but I was like, you know what? Maybe we can get him at 19. We just got to get through 17 and 18 with the Chargers and the Saints. Like the Chargers could be a spot for Ojabo, but you know what? I'm willing to, like, this edge class is so good that it's like, hey, if I can't get an ideal guy at 19, maybe we could get one in day 2. So I was like, let's get a corner. Andrew Booth, next corner off the board for me. Stupid athletic, gonna test out extremely well. Ended the year real hot. And then I like the idea of them grabbing a big-bodied receiver, whether that's Treylon Burks or the guy I'm going to pick for him, Drake freaking London? Oh, there you are. I'm right on you. Drake London. Some people will be like, well, Jalen Hurts, he doesn't really utilize his short to intermediate threats. Drake London's a good jump ball guy. He was 19 of 18 uncontested catches this year. This is a guy that gives you a big boy catch radius that can produce after the catch. He was leading in college football in forced missed tackles before he went down with I think it was an ankle injury. So I like Drake London there. You can't go wrong, though. I don't think you go wrong with like a Treylon Burks either. He might be a bit more explosive. Well, yeah, I mean, kind of is. Both are big receivers, but I mean, London's just such a fantastic route runner, very smooth athlete. Maybe not an ideal separator like when we talk about guys like Garrett Wilson or Chris Olave, but he can create that separation, and he provides like a garage door of a window for the quarterback with that catch radius. We got the Los Angeles Chargers. I went with Nakobe Dean, the who was there? Kenneth Murray. That all went up in flames when they tried to be like, you know what, you're so bad at linebacker, we're gonna give you a shot at edge, and that didn't work out. So now he's a bust. You kind of burnt that second and third round pick to trade back up in the first round with the Patriots. So that sucks. But let's go ahead. Let's grab Nakobe Dean, who was a phenomenal run stuffer there at Georgia. There were times where, okay, yeah, he would fill in the wrong gaps or go into the wrong, wouldn't necessarily like find the run-in lane, but I feel like that was few and far between. This guy, despite his size, 6 foot 225, like he comes downhill extremely explosive. He comes in with a lot of momentum. He can stack offensive linemen. That's wild. And what this is a dude that can man up anybody, like your tight end, your running back, your slot. Like, I don't think you're gonna have to worry about him in coverage, and he's a sure tackler. So I like the pick. I like it. The Saints, we gotta go receiver. I know you got guys like Chris Olave and Jameson Williams on the board, but Treylon Burks is gonna test out like a freak, man. He just is. Trust me. So grabbing a freak there, a receiver, kind of clutch, a guy that can create after the catch, a guy that can go up and just moss somebody. The size, the speed, the physicality, it's beautiful. Philadelphia Eagles, guess what? David Ojabo, just like I said, he fell to us. Yes, he did. So we got a David Ojabo. We got a little bit youth at pass rush, a guy with a great upside. With Brandon Graham's career, at least in Philly, probably winding down. Derek Barnett, free agent, probably not coming back. You got Sweat there. So add it again, just having some sort of youth movement on defense, and you want to do it at like the positions of value being pass rush and coverage, mainly corner. So bam. I'm not sold on the Steelers getting a quarterback that's not Sam Howell or Kenny Pickett with this pick. Like, I guess you can make the case for Matt Corral, but guys, I'm not high on Matt Corral. I'm sorry. I'm just not. The next guys on my board would be Malik Willis, Desmond Ridder. You could probably make a case for either of those guys. I don't know. I think the Steelers, maybe they wait till day 2 in this scenario. Maybe they just try to make a trade for like a Kirk Cousins, Jimmy G, get someone that could like make them competitive. I mean, look, Jimmy G's in the NFC Championship game. You just got to build around these guys sometimes. So I went with getting the offensive line better, getting pass protection better, because Big Ben had almost close to no time to throw the ball, and Najee Harris had close to like no sufficient blocks. Like, the dude was like among the leaders in terms of where he was hit, where was first contact. It was typically at the line of scrimmage or behind it. That's not good. So I'm going with where you at? Kenyon Green, a guy that honestly, I'm gonna be real with y'all. Like, they list him here as interior offensive lineman. I'd give him a shot at left tackle. I think this cat can play tackle. He's got that type of movement skills. Or he could play either guard position. That's fine. The New England Patriots, they need to do something offensively. They just don't have the necessary firepower at times. If they can't control the game with the run game, if you really have to put the game on the shoulders of Mac Jones, I think you just need better playmakers at receiver. And I think Chris Olave is a good fit, a guy that's a very good route runner. He's got legit burners as well. One of the best separators in college football. So he goes here. Las Vegas Raiders, man. Dude, hell yeah, dude. We get a burner from Alabama to replace our former burner from Alabama in Jameson Williams. The offense just looked so much different at the beginning of the year when they actually had someone that could stretch the field like that. Before Henry Ruggs got released and was an idiot. So I think they try to plug that with Deshaun Jackson. It was okay, but Jameson Williams, I think this cat's gonna be extremely good. I know ACL, he might fall down boards. He ain't falling out of the first round. I just don't see it happening. Hey, Arizona Cardinals, that secondary needs some help. Marco Wilson's fine as a depth piece, but he's the same roller coaster we saw at Florida. You might be like, he's just a rookie. Better for the doubt. He could get better. I think he could get better as a depth piece. Bring in competition, bring in talent. Kyer Elam, I think, is a good fit for this defense. Got the Dallas Cowboys. And this is another team that had one of the worst run defenses in football. They need to get meatier in the middle. So Jordan Davis, he's going to go in the first round. I have a feeling he is. I'm not that high on him just because I don't think there's a pass rushing upside, but you can't dispute him as an elite run stuffer. And when you're picking at the bottom of the first round, you're kind of like, yeah, I mean, there's enough of that pass rushing upside, that just explosiveness for a guy of his size for me to be like, yeah, we'll take one of those. So yeah, we get a big meaty boy in the middle, which is a shame, man. The Bills would have loved a big meaty boy in the middle, but let's go ahead. Let's get some competition for Levi Wallace, who's actually a free agent, for Dane Jackson. And I went with Trent McDuffie, dude. Trent McDuffie's a wonderful scheme fit for Sean McDermott, and dude was shut down all throughout his Washington career. Listen, Tennessee fans, I know you're like, we need to use the draft to get better. But listen, man, not all the time. You're not going to always draft these guys who are immediate impact starters. Listen, use free agency for that to bring in guys that can start right away. You're looking for talent to kind of build. You're looking for high upside guys most of the time. And I'm looking at your quarterback position. Listen, I'm a Dolphins fan. I get it. Ryan Tannehill, he inspires a little bit of hope, but I don't know. This year was just so bad. I know he didn't have a lot of his weapons, but he didn't look good against the Bengals. He just didn't. So maybe, I know you gave him that ridiculous contract, but maybe you grab a guy, you start Tannehill next year, and then you move on from the year after. So let's get someone we can build around, someone we can develop the first year, some guy with huge upside that could be a crazy weapon for this offense. So I'm going with Malik Willis. I really like this pick. I like it. I like it a lot. Let me know if you know what I'm quoting, where I'm quoting. I'll just tell you, it's Dumb and Dumber. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man. Listen, this team, this offense, just not the same without Chris Godwin, without Antonio Brown. So we're going to grab probably the only other first round caliber receiver on the board. You can make a case for George Pickens, but I went with Jahan Dotson. Get that nice vertical separator, a guy that's just a legit good separator. He's got legit ball skills. Very explosive. Big fan. All right. Wow, my Dolphins still not picking. Gotta freaking love it. All right, with this pick, I had a tough time, man. I really did. You could go best player available. I considered like Travon Walker. At the end, I was like, you know what? Let me get a guy that could add some more quality players to the offensive line. So I went with, where you at, my friend? Bernhard Ryman out of Central Michigan. I really think he's going to have a banger Senior Bowl. So they grab a cat that could come in and maybe be a right tackle of the future, across from, is it Bakhtiari? I can never say his name right. And then you can move Jenkins back to the interior spots. So, yeah, I like it. Listen, man, Bengals, your guard position is hot trash. It's not good. It's just not. So let's improve upon that. This might be a bit of a reach on my part. Kind of feels like it, but I think he's a really good scheme fit. I'm going with the boy I really like. He's a second rounder in my book, Zion Johnson, dude. This is a cat that had played left tackle for Boston College after he transferred from Davidson. Then he moved back to guard this past year. Probably a guard in the NFL. He's a good fit for Zach Taylor's blocking scheme, outside zone blocking scheme there. So we grab Zion Johnson. I got Johnson. He's like around 40 to 42 on my big board, so it's not like it's a crazy reach. It's just a guy you're not going to be in a position to get it in the second round. And outside of that, I was probably considering Roger McCreary. That was probably the other guy. But yeah, I was willing. I'm gonna take Johnson. Just changing it up a little bit. Miami Dolphins, really wish there was a receiver. George Pickens, man, you could make that pick there. It's tempting. Instead, you know what? If the Dolphins go ahead, spend that salary cap on getting better on the offensive line, bringing in some veteran experience, because I'm tired of the inexperience and hoping that these youngsters pan out while we're still trying to evaluate, is Tua our guy or is he not? I don't know. The offensive line's still learning to be average, so we can't get a proper evaluation on Tua. So I hope they bring in veterans. I wish there was a playmaker, a receiver. Like, you can make the case for George Pickens, but I don't know. I'd rather go with someone higher on my board here. Trevor Penning, he's going to test out like a freak, especially at his size. I think he's going to have a great Senior Bowl, and he's probably going to end up having a first-round grade when it's all said and done. I don't have him there yet, but him and Ryman are two guys that I think are just going to blow the top off the Senior Bowl and end up being first-rounders. Oh, man, I really thought about taking Desmond Ridder here. And I've been probably one of the biggest Desmond Ridder naysayers. I've come around to him a little bit, but not a ton. I still feel a lot better about him on day 2. So I ended up deciding, you know what, I'm not going to go quarterback here. George Pickens was an option. Instead, I was like, you know what, the safety position was pretty bad. Like, they didn't really have Will Harris was so bad they moved him to corner. So let's address the safety position. I was thinking maybe Jaquan Brisker, but I really wanted to go real flashy, so I went with Daxton Hill, a cat who this past year played primarily in the slot for Michigan. I thought that was a disservice to what he could truly do, because he's got insane range, could be a true center fielder if you need him to be, so we grabbed Daxton Hill. And then, listen, Spag, he his big, meaty, athletic edge rushers. So we got him a big, meaty, athletic edge rusher. We went ahead and grabbed Travon Walker. I think he probably goes a little bit higher than this, but I don't know. This is how the board fell, so we took it. But yeah, that's my mock. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I don't know. I felt a bit indifferent. Like, I don't like the idea of Washington and Pittsburgh not going quarterback in this class, but not going quarterback in this draft. It's just this class, man. It really makes you second guess some things. But yeah, let me know. Let's have the discussion in the comment section below. That's it for the video. Go ahead, do that YouTube thing. We will be streaming sometime this week where we do Walk the Mock, where it's basically you draft against me and some of the other subscribers on the channel. So we will do one of those this week. I'm going to figure out when. But until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.